best way to do this. And last time it was this way. Good evening, and welcome to our Saturday night KiKi. There's a lot of gossip going on in the world. Oh yeah, that's me. And let's see. This is a piece I've been working on for the past. Oh dang! Whoops! You would think I had better cinematography skills. Oops. Well, anyway, here we go. Let's try this again. Oh, I know the problem. So, as you can see, since last Saturday, I've done a lot of work on this piece. The last time I did this, last Saturday actually, I had only gotten as far as this red stripe, which is really like a small flyer type sheet of paper. It's like a cardstock, but not really. It's just probably just construction paper that a flyer was on. I flipped it over and I doodled on it, which means I was probably at an event and just needed something to do. And I always pick up my doodles and bring them with me because they end up being parts of my art. So I cut it into strips and made like this long tattoo down her bodice type area here. And I like the patterns. So over the past couple of days, I added this, which is paint spatter. And let me see if I can show you. So this multicolor piece is paint. It's like acrylic paint that's dried and it's really flexible. So I cut it so it would fit around here. There's paper strips that I painted a long time ago. This is acrylic and I like to keep it textured so that this looks organic. And that goes all the way up into the top and down. Okay, that's better. So as you can see, a lot of different paints were just collecting on my palette. And I peel them off and I use them. This is actually painted on. This is actually painted on. There's some paper pieces here that I just incorporated with paint. So the paint is actually holding this piece here. And then this is more paint spatter from my palette. And I cut it to make this kind of almost like a little broad thing right here. And then there's more paper going down the side, paper and acrylic paint, an acrylic line, her warrior stripe here, and more paint spatter here. And this is paper paint that was cut and shaped into that. So when I back away from it, this is the full effect. It's coming together nicely. And this is a piece where it takes me a while to kind of get into the work because once I put it down, I can't change it without damaging the piece. So when I'm making these collage pieces, I have to be a little bit more careful because I want to make sure that what I put down, as I add to it, I'm going to like the effect. And yes, there have been pieces that I've overworked before. So I don't want to overwork this one, but she's coming along nicely. The pieces are kind of like they're creating like this slope from her waist to her hips, and it just kind of, I wanted to keep it like decidedly feminine, but not in an exploitive way. Plus, there's a face, like a face evolving here. I'm not sure if you can see it. It wasn't intentional, but there is a face coming together here. And there's other profiles. For some reason, a lot of my art, it becomes eyes and faces. So that's probably part of my intuitiveness and being able to express that. So yeah, she's coming along nicely. And the companion piece to this one, doo, 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 doo. This hubcap. I haven't really worked on this one as much because this has been my prime focus. And I really like the way she's coming along. So just playing with that as an idea. Maybe. Nah. Probably more something like this. I like that. If I'm going to add this, this would be like a halo effect and put something else here and have this behind it. Or add a face here, but who knows? I like this perspective better than this one. That one kind of seems limiting. So we'll see how that works out. Oh, if you can see behind this piece, it's like all the things from my classroom because we have to pack up our classrooms every year. And I have a lot of student art. So if you see things peeking out, you're probably capturing some of my super artist type kids. These kids are really creative. I'm actually excited to do another art club this year because the kids who signed up for the art club enjoyed it. I enjoyed it too. And, well, wow, I know you can hear me over here trying to figure out where to put my piece. Anyway, let me just, I don't like to put my work on the floor. Nikki taught me that. She was like, you never put your work on the floor. So, this is the piece. I haven't come up with a name for it yet, but we are developing some events. I hope that you guys can come to them. The first one will probably be an art show slash, music thing because we need to do fundraisers for our upcoming things because we are a nonprofit, an actual 501c3. So yes, when you donate to us, you can get that money back on your taxes. Oh, look, people are watching. Ah, nice. Oh, I like these suggestions. Wow, awesome. Yay. Thanks for everybody who's looking at my video trying to figure out what I'm doing over here. Ah, yes. You know what? I do want to do a student art show because it would be a good opportunity to, one, work with kids who are artists and teach them the ins and outs of not only being a creative person, but how to promote yourself and get your work out there. And I've been thinking about that for a few years. And I think I could do that with this next group of kids. We had a really good year last year. And you're right. I could do like more art with kids. And that's really what our nonprofit is supposed to do, support emerging artists. And I actually have some students that I've seen at art shows, my fifth graders, out there doing the festival circuit. And I'm very proud of them for having that confidence and their parents for allowing them to feel that creative spark and develop it. Because so many parents try to teach their kids that art education is impractical and it's not going to get you a job, which is not true. And there's more to life than steering your way into, I guess, a profession, because I'm learning from my experience that professions change and evolve. And in this political climate, me being a teacher isn't even considered a profession anymore. So follow your heart, and then with that, your gifts will bring you the abundance you need. Do it, be the best that you can be at it, make a name for yourself, and that's how you leave a legacy in art. It's, it's a life calling. Everyone has a talent. I believe that whatever your talent is, you should focus on it and develop it and work on it. And even if it's not something that other people will quote unquote tell you it's not marketable, you can't get a job in it, they don't know. They never tried. They went their way. You should try your way. I mean, they went their way. You try your way. Yes, my dad was an engineer, but when I was a young kid, he used to draw all the things I needed for my class, and he was a really good artist. He could draw like realistic portraits and everything, but that wasn't his job. He was an engineer. He worked at the steel plant, and then when the steel plant picked up and left because of that bastard Reagan, um, he ended up starting his own business, him and his friend, and they just, I have so many stories about going your own way because my dad was a member of the union, and it took 25 years for them to get their benefits. He had to work on his own. He swore he would never work for another company again, and he didn't. He just started his own company, his local company, and worked it and made a name for himself and put all of us through life, even when we were well into adulthood. So, my dad followed his heart. My mom follows her heart. My great grandmother used to sing. Her and my great aunt, her sister, used to tour the South and sing gospel songs, right? So I just feel like I come from a family of free thinkers, but they can be a little traditional. But I think that being creative and being an artist is something that you have in your blood, and if you feel that in your blood, you should follow that. Really. Yes. Oh, I do have a lot of my student art that I've been keeping over the years. And yes, I am going to make a giant collage piece and put it in my classroom. I have one of my paintings in my classroom, and it's me. Do I have it? Oh, it's behind this whole stack of things. I'll pull it out next time. But it's me in the middle, and all these circles of different colors and sizes and shapes to represent my students. And I hang it up every year. I've hung it for about 10, 12 years. I've had that painting. And the students respond to it. It's so funny. I've had a lot of different responses. They love talking about it. And yes, I will be making a giant collage piece with my students. And I also do believe that art is in every profession. Teaching is an art because you have to know how to navigate different personalities. You have to do all that paperwork. It's like what people don't understand about teaching is being in the classroom and actually working with the students is only about 33% of what we do. It's only about 33%. And that's my favorite percent. But we do about another 30% of paperwork that has to be done weekly, monthly, quarterly, biannually. There's a lot of paperwork. And then we also have to develop plans for what we're going to do, go to meetings, do professional development. Like teaching is 3 jobs. It's 3 jobs. It is. You're like a mom, a nurse, and a psychologist. And you're like working with someone's favorite person. Every student is someone's favorite person. Their kids, their parents love them. Like I love my kids. So I want to do right by my kids and make sure they have a strong foundation, but at the same time they feel free to create. So one of my favorite things to teach is writing, because people will judge you by the way you write and by the way you speak. And writing can be the difference between you getting into the school you want and not being able to get into the school you want. And just, I'm a nerd, so I like teaching kids how to write essays because they need to know how to do research, take that research, form an argument, and then present that argument and defend it. And you do all that in writing. And that's a skill that can take you a lot of different places in life. So, no, it does not pay 3 times. I work for a really good school, so I'm happy with, my pay scale, what I'm being paid. But I wouldn't mind making more. But considering what I've seen and what I've experienced as a teacher, I'm very grateful for my job. And I'm pretty well compensated. Am I going to be a millionaire this year teaching? Maybe if I sell this piece for $1 million. I'm better behind the camera. I've been a cinematographer before. I love that job. I love making indie film. It's just that when Florida quit doing the tax breaks for film companies here, we lost a lot of film work here. Like at one point, I worked on like 21 indie films, and I knew people who were working as extras on shows, like popular shows like Mad Men at the time. But as soon as Florida refused to give those tax breaks, everybody picked up and went. There's film companies that went straight to New Zealand, they went to Atlanta, some went to Arizona. I mean, but before then, I was actually pretty happy to be out there making movies. And it's funny because most of the movies that I worked on were in Spanish, and I speak very little Spanish. In fact, you could probably measure it in about 3 sentences. But everybody's really kind, and they spoke English too. So it wasn't like I felt alienated. I just wish I could have followed the dialogue more, but it was cool. I enjoyed it. So I said all that to say that I prefer to be behind the camera. And, I know you have to show your personality, but one, I need it. I need a hairdo. And my eyebrows are crooked. But thanks for showing up for my KiKi. Let me see. Ah, yes. Oh my gosh. Like, I'm happy to be. My parents taught me a lot about how to navigate social settings. So being able to be reflective when you're being criticized and not take it as an affront, although sometimes people are critical and their intentions are to be rude or abrupt or whatever. That's fine. But I'm 52. I'll be 53 in a couple of weeks. So it's been a long journey with learning how to accept a critique and not assume that everything is a criticism. I've had to learn to humble myself, or at least not be arrogant in settings where I know I'm not the most proficient. So learning how to take critique and apply it, and whatever you can't use, just toss it out the window. And the older you get, well, for me, the older I've gotten, I've become more confident, so I don't feel the need to respond to every negative thing, because what will it really do to me other than, I tell my students to let it slide off like snot. You just gotta let it slide off like snot. But take what you can use and apply it, because sometimes a criticism comes with some helpful advice, even if they did not mean it to be helpful. Ah, poetry. That definitely is poetry. Withers us like beaches and move us to many places like sand. Yeah. That's how I feel about talent, though. Like, when I was in middle school, I'll never forget my art teacher, Mr. Adair, who reminded me of a very handsome Langston Hughes. And I was like, Mr. Adair's so cool. He's so awesome. But I was upset because I couldn't draw a straight line. And we were learning, someone told me that you can't be an artist if you can't draw a straight line. And I was so upset. And he introduced me to the Dadaist. He was like, they don't even use lines, they use dots to create magnificent masterpieces. And that's when I found out about George Seurat. There was a musical that came out when I was a kid called Sunday in the Park with George. And it all kind of was an odd synchronicity because he was teaching me about the surrealist and the Dadaist. And then that movie came out. It was actually a Broadway play with Bernadette Peters, who I love. Um, I'm also a music theater idiot too, whatever they call us. I love music theater. I love a good stage show, a song and dance, a jingle. I'm all into it. I'm such a music theater kid. Sometimes I just burst into song, literally. My students, every time they do something, if they're not listening, I'll just start singing it to them. I said, have a seat. And then they start listening. It's weird. It's like, sometimes I feel like the Peanuts characters, all the adults just sound like wah, 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 wah. That's how we sound to children. That's how adults sounded to me when I was a kid. I was like, huh? I'm not really listening to you. I'm just looking at you, and I really want to go back to looking at my cartoons. But if I don't look at you, it'll seem that I'm not listening, but I'm really not listening. So I understand it because I was a kid too. Yes, it is. Oh my God. Victor Victoria was on sale on Prime, and I thought about spending that $12. But I was like, girl, that movie is 40 years old, and you probably already have it on DVD or VHS somewhere. Why would you spend another $13? But you know what? You never know, because Julie Andrews will not be denied in my home. I've watched so much Julie Andrews, even the terrible movies. There was some movie she made in the 80s where her husband was cheating on her. It wasn't a musical, which is probably why I don't remember much about it. But anyway, I'll pretty much watch anything with Julie Andrews in it. I even watched The Princess Diaries just because she was in it. And that movie was not, I was too old to watch that. It is, I don't know. Anyway, Julie Andrews. So, I will. I mean, just the thought of not having it at my disposal is taunting me. But I love movies and I love musicals. So movies that I have purchased, and I've only purchased a couple on Amazon Prime because I want to watch them over and over. I have Dogma. I have Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I have Iron Monkey with Donnie Yen. Yes, that Iron Monkey, the one from the 90s. I used to collect kung fu movies, but don't tell everybody. I had a lot of them, a lot of them. Anyway, so I have Dogma, Iron Monkey, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Girls Trip, the Ghostbusters with the all-female cast. I love that movie. My kids are like, Mom, that movie's not good. I'm like, that movie is amazing. And stop talking about my movie. So those are the 5 movies that I've bought already. I'm probably going to buy I Love Boosters just because I'm pretty sure I'm going to laugh at it several times. And I'm payday. I'm probably going to get that movie, even though it's $15. I just want to see it, and it's not playing anywhere near me. So this is my taste. I love comedy. I love music, and you know, I read romance novels. I don't read all of them, but I do love a good Beverly Jenkins novel because it's full of like history and intrigue and all that awesome stuff. But anyway. Ah, yeah. Yeah. So I'm planning. a couple of shows. So when we do have our live shows and we bring out bands and things, it would be awesome if everybody could come out. If you're not local, then we of course would be live streaming it. I don't know how to do it, don't ask me, but I work with people who know how to do it. So my dream is to be able to have our show, and if you're not in South Florida, then you can still tune in at that time and watch it, and support our local art scene, local music, and it's good stuff. It's good stuff. And since I've gotten to my probably fifth and I am going to end this KiKi because I really want to work on this, but it's not something that can be rushed. Like the first couple of layers I can put down quickly, but now as things are coming together, I really need to kind of concentrate on it, and it's hard to do with the cameras rolling. I thought I was going to work on it with the cameras rolling, but I've been working on it all week, and now that we're in front of the cameras, I really just don't want to rush it. And my style is kind of like organized chaos. So how I do 90% of my work is I just take out a giant drop cloth, put all of my stuff out, all of my paints, all of my brushes, all of my doodles, everything, just spread it out and put the piece I'm working on right in the middle of it, and just pull. Things are matched up. You know, when you have like adult ADD, it's just kind of how your mind works. I need to have like everything in front of me so I can just go, oh yeah, I'm gonna try this, try this, put this down, try this. So next week I'll have something that I'll actually be painting, but I changed my mind, and a woman is, it's her prerogative. I can change my mind. It's a lady's prerogative. A lady, a woman, anybody, you have the right to change your mind, right? It's your prerogative. So thank you for tuning in to my show. Wait. I'm still reading. Okay, wait. I can't type real fast. Yay! Oh, donation links on your page. Oh, snap. You're right. I'm going to do that. Well, actually, I'm probably going to ask my friend Mo9 to do it because she's the tech genius and she's also on the board of Art Mama Moves. So, yes, I'm going to take your suggestion. I want to know if I can put donation links on the page or on each show. Not sure how that works. Oh, where am I going with this piece? Well, this piece was inspired by a lot of recent events. And since I have this mannequin and she's textured, it's a lightweight texture. Obviously, this is an opaque black, and symbolically, I thought, well, I'll use red, green, black, and gold, the colors of the diaspora. But then I was thinking, do I want to restrict myself to only using these colors when it's becoming this ribbon down the middle is kind of delineating what I'm thinking. This is how you picture the diaspora, okay? But then as a woman, I'm also a lot of other things outside of that that are internal. So I wanted to capture the difference here in her breast, because this one, when I received this piece, the dent was already there. If you look at the before and after pictures, you can see that this dent was there. So I wanted to embellish it and bring attention to it that, you know, we do not have perfect female forms. And plus, with my sister passing of breast cancer, I started working on this piece on her birthday, actually. And she had a painting done by Frances Salberet to commemorate her breast cancer journey. and it is one of the breasts has an alien growing out of it. And the name of that piece was is These Tried to Kill Me, So I Cut Them Off. And before my sister passed away, she had to have a double mastectomy, and she wanted to have that painting done to, talk about her journey, her breast cancer journey. So this piece is actually dedicated to my sister, and it's my representation of her as an African American woman, part of the diaspora, with her own personal life story. And this is becoming her story. Her story of a woman who had to have her breast removed. You know, she was 48 years old when she passed, so she never, this is a youthful body. This is like her youthful body. So it's a lot. It's a lot. But this piece is definitely dedicated to women. It's definitely a Pan-African representation of womanhood, and it's still evolving. So thank you for your question, because it forces me to kind of think about where it's going. It does have a lot of African vibes because I am a African American, Native American, whatever you want to call us. Some people say foundational Black Americans. I'm not sure what that means. I don't want to be exclusive. I know that we're 10 generations here. Yeah, my great grandmother. Okay, is Grandma Mary is my great grandmother. Mama Lita was my great great grandmother. Okay, Mama Lita's grandmother, Rebecca Adams, came from Ghana in the 1800s and bought land in South Georgia, which we still have. It's 33 acres. And so Rebecca Adams' journey here was definitely an immigrant story. So we are blessed to know more about our history than some people, because my mom's family kept in contact with their family in Ghana for several years, and they communicated up until the 1950s. Unfortunately, I do not know what happened to those papers, but apparently my Aunt Mag, who was my great great grandmother's sister, had TB, and nobody wanted to go into the house to go get the papers. So that tin roof house might still be up in South Georgia, but Mama Lita was somewhere around 100. Her age was a mystery for obvious reasons, but she was about 100 when she passed, but nobody really knew. And she had like this mystical quality about her. So, yes, we are definitely from the diaspora. In Guinea? Oh, wow. Nice. Nice. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. I actually have a degree in history. And after I retire from teaching, I plan to go back and get, study more, do graduate studies in African American rural history, because there's a lot there. Like, I've done so much research. I did research when I was an undergrad um, on the church that my family built down in South Georgia. It's called the Church of Christ, Holiness unto the Lord. Yes, they are some very religious, long-winded people. I love them. And that church is still around today, and they have branches in a lot of different countries. So I remember my Aunt Val was a missionary, and she did missionary work in Jamaica when I was a kid. And it was pretty cool. She brought back recordings and everything. So yeah, we're just a bunch of studious, nerdy, I guess, creative. Oh, and my Aunt Val had a radio show down in the country. It was like a Bible study show when I was a kid. And then years later, I worked on the radio for like 8 years. So, yep. Oh, this really is a KiKi because I forgot I was talking. And thank you, people who are having a conversation with me. You are awesome. Sorry I'm not always on at the same time, but I think 8 o'clock is a good time. That way, people who want to go out and party can still go out and party because now you got a good couple of hours to get dressed. I remember that life. I'm too tired now. In fact, I'll probably just eat and watch a movie after doing this. But thanks everybody for tuning in to my Saturday night KiKi. Thanks for interacting with me. Thanks for making me feel comfortable enough to show my face on camera this time. But this is a piece I'm working on. Next week I should have more progress to show you, and I'm looking forward to doing great things with everybody. And enjoy your Saturday night. Yes, Jamaica is super cool. Like, my in-laws are from Jamaica, so I have a lot of cool stories about that too. So, and Jamaica looks a lot like South Florida. I mean, South Georgia. Like, where my parents are from, there's still dirt roads and things, and like, even the food is similar. And the customs are similar. South Georgia and Jamaica have a lot in common, I think, besides the obvious things. Yay! Okay, everybody. Good night. See you next Saturday.